Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. First of all, before I continue talking, there are still some workers outside my house. I don't know why they haven't left yet, since it is already past working time, I think, for them, but you might be hearing some noises from machines outside. Anyways, we're watching not Navi, what am I saying? Wow, we're watching VirtusPro taking on Ahead, or Next.kz, but now Ahead.kz. That's what their name will be. Okay, it's time to change their name in my database then. Ahead.kz will take on VirtusPro, a game for Starlight and StarSeries. We are in day number 25 out of the 30, so we're getting there. And today, actually, a day where we see 6 games in total, and a pretty important day for some of the teams. And actually, I mean, a lot of the people said, you know what, for these two teams, like VirtusPro and Next.kz, it doesn't really matter. But you're wrong. Next.kz is sitting pretty good though. They have got 10 games played, 5 wins, 5 losses. So they are in the middle and they're doing okay. They're not gonna get dropped out unless they lose every game from now on and some others win some. I mean, there's still a chance, but they're also not gonna go to Kiev. But VirtusPro, they have lost 7 games. They've played 11 games, 7 losses, 4 wins, and well, today they have 2 games, and I mean, right now, if you see them on the rankings, they're number 14. Number 13 and 14 will have to play regulation matches up against the number 3 and 4 of the Pro Series. And I think VirtusPro wants to avoid that, because, I mean, that would just hurt their pride slightly. So they kind of need some wins in this. They want to not be in the bottom 4, of course. That's their goal. No longer going to Kiev, but, well, we'll see if they are able to make sure that they can still not go to Pro Series either. So we have got VirtusPro, they're on the dire side, Next.kz is on the Radiant side, and we have got IOBet banned out, no surprise there, with an OD and the Naga Siren removed as well. I mean, so far, fairly standard. The pickups, standard on the side of VirtusPro, Lifestealer, Nature's Prophet, there's some mobility in there, of course, with an Infest inside the Nature's Prophet, but overall, these 2 heroes fit in almost any single lineup that you want to throw at them. I mean, they can, in theory, have Nature's Prophet in jungle, or offlane, or safe lane, or even mid. Lifestealer, aggressive tri lane, safe tri lane, or even mid, but I think most likely we're gonna see an offlane Nature's Prophet and a Lifestealer on a safe lane. On the side of Ahead, they have got a Chen picked up, which is fairly uncommon to see a Chen picked up this early on. But with a Chen and a Weaver, right now, I mean, they're just keeping their lineup open as open can be, actually, because Weaver, we've seen him in different scenarios. I mean, and we know that Chen is going to be in the jungle, but you could still have, like, different combinations that you can make with the Chen in terms of how aggressive you can be. One hero that is ignored thus far, which is quite surprising, is the Visage, a support that we see a lot of, and I am not surprised if VirtusPro will aim to pick it up right now. I mean, in terms of Ahead, it can still work with their lineup, but they are kind of lacking disables. So if, like, Chen has got, in theory, disables if he gets the right creeps. But Visage and Weaver both don't really offer any disables. They don't care about disables, or at least not about Visage anymore at the moment. They go for the Storm Spirit. They go for the Storm Spirit, and that will be their solo mid, of course, revealing what their solo mid will be here as well. So VirtusPro can already start picking up a counter towards it. Next.kz did ban out the Puck and the Queen of Pain, so that's 2 strong mids that Storm Spirit doesn't like. And of course, Puck maybe even a bit stronger than Queen of Pain in this one because of the silence, but yeah, we'll see what VirtusPro ends up going for and what resolution will draft, because this is something interesting. VirtusPro, of course, I just said they have 7 losses and 4 wins, and that's not really VirtusPro-like, because VirtusPro is a team that you would expect to do very well. I mean, their name, they were invited to the International 3. They should be able to do better. They have got a fairly star-studded team. Why are they not doing better? Well, Resolution has got his chance this time, as in, we have seen Godlike drafting for VirtusPro, didn't really work out. Now Resolution will take on that role. They've also changed up roles slightly. Resolution was, of course, in his previous team, he was the solo mid and the captain. Right now, he started off as a hard carry for VirtusPro, and I believe right now he is in a support role because of him trying to captain again. And G still taking on the mid role. We'll find out though. After the draft is done, of course. We have an Enigma pickup for VirtusPro. Strong team fight for them. They don't really have that much to follow up on it, apart from if Rubik steals something from Darkseer, which can be very potent, of course. And we have a Darkseer pickup for Next.kz or Ahead.kz. They have got The off lane is sorted now. They've got themselves a safe lane Weaver then. I have to say, I mean, so far, like, normally, both Weaver and Lifestealer normally are heroes that you see in a dual core combination. And even though I like that better than just them solo cores, because VirtusPro doesn't have a secondary core, apart from Nature's Prophet later on in the game, the Storm Spirit already countering Nature's Prophet, so in theory he's not really that much of a threat. And because Weaver is by himself as well, VirtusPro sees, you know what, Weaver is the only real threat. Next to maybe if the Storm Spirit gets really big, but that's why we're gonna try to have the Nyx and the Rubik try to gank Storm Spirit before he reaches level 6, and we're gonna kill him off often. They don't really need a secondary core. And this could be a chance for Ahead.kz, I find. I mean, logically enough, they go for a support here, and I would really expect that, but I would like to see something. I don't know how they can fit it in, but something more aggressive that can turn into a carry later on as well, because that would have the upper hand. But then you would have forced to run 2 jungles. It won't work. It doesn't fit. They need a support with that Weaver. Crystal Maiden got removed from the pool as a, and actually the Templar Assassin removed for the last one for Ahead.kz, not someone that they didn't want to have up against a Storm, but now they'll face probably the Nyx Assassin. Though, as I said, Nature's Prophet, like, in theory, we've seen every single one of the heroes that VirtusPro has. We've seen every single one of those solo mid before. No exception. Who knows? Maybe we're gonna have an Enigma mid. Maybe we're gonna have a Rubik mid. It's been a while. But Nyx Assassin, I think, is the most logical one here, and the Nature's Prophet in the offlane, Enigma in the jungle, would be the most solid one. And of course, Enigma in the jungle is a hero that farms fastest in the jungle of all the heroes that are. He farms faster than the Chen. And that would put a bit of a pressure on Ahead.kz to farm up fast as well. Because they have got, I mean, they've got a lot of pressure on their Storm right now. And Weaver compared to Lifestealer is a combination I mean, Lifestealer is going to come online earlier in terms of being able to join his team and start carrying things. As Lifestealer has already a build in BKB, for example, Weaver, he needs the Lincolns, he needs the defensive item before he can start build some damage items. Although, with an Abaddon picked up, that might actually be a point that is no longer valid, because Abaddon is one of those heroes that offers sustainability just by nature of his spells. And I really like the Abaddon Weaver combination, as in I like the potential of it. If you're fighting up against it in a pub, you're not gonna like it, guaranteed. Oh my god, it's NS's birthday. Find his Twitter and send him birthday wishes. Please. Yours, Papa. I'm gonna expect that to be G, but I need to check it. Yeah, it is G. Thank you. Surprisingly, it said he already changed his name, but he didn't. Weird. Oh well. Let's see who's playing what. We've got ourselves Resolution. Whoa. It looks like he might be taking on a solo mid role here. Goblack will take on the Rubik. Light of Heaven will play his Nature's Prophet with G taking on the Lifestealer, so this means that Resolution and Lifestealer and Resolution and G kind of switched roles. And Enigma will take on, well, we played by NS and will be in the jungle most likely. So that's going to be our lineup for VirtusPro. Take a look at Ahead.kz or Ahead.kz or Ahead Gaming. We have got Stalkat taking on the Darkseer. He's actually preparing perhaps to go mid. His items suggest that he might be mid. Ooh, pop quiz. Oh. Damn, I missed the question. I did actually think I would have failed that one. Shame on me. Well, I've seen all the games. Have I though? No, I haven't actually. Shame on me. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Shout out to Nahaz, who is of course our stats in the game once more. And of course inside the Twitch TV chat, where you indeed will find the polls and where you can spam your answers for what you think the answer is to the trivia that sometimes passes by. Nahaz the Necro is actually the Nahaz that you see inside the game here, so you'll recognize him by his blue letters and his moderator tag. Oh well, we're gonna have Wadafaka playing the Storm Spirit. Reeves will take on the Abaddon. Jen will be played by the guy whose name we cannot pronounce. I believe this is the second time he stands in for Ahead.kz because it's a name that I recognize. Mantis will take on the Weaver. And did I already introduce Stalka? I think I did. That's everybody of Ahead Gaming, of course, of Ahead.kz and Next.kz. And let's see if the majority here is right. I think a lot of people still have VirtusPro in mind of one of the teams, like maybe because of the names that they have. A team that it looks very strong, but if you see their results, they have been really flaky. They haven't been really solid in their performance. And Next.kz, definitely a team that can take advantage of that, can throw you off your game even more if you already are trying to sort things out in terms of, well, just coordination, just synergy. Next.kz definitely a team that has been together for such a long time that their synergy is so on par that they can throw you off your guard because of that. But we'll see. We already have got a smoke up on our Chen though, and this Chen, I mean, in terms of ganking potential, Chen and Abaddon might not be the best two that you can think of, but it all depends on that one creep that Chen picks up. And I said earlier that you kind of want to have a support that has a disable, and even though right now they don't have a disable on their support, they do have a disable on their Storm Spirit, so if they want to gank middle, what a fucker, he can in theory be able to just vortex the guy that they want to go on, and then maybe set up for a Centaur stun or something, that a creep that that this Chen has been able to grab out of the jungle. Something like that. Oh, beeps. I really hope that you hear it less loud than I do. Well, VirtusPro will have Resolution having the items that suggest that he will indeed be in the mid lane, as well, expected, I guess. Unless we'll still place his ward and then probably rotate into the jungle. Perhaps even try to contest Chen's jungle, and that's actually something he could be doing, in theory. Eidolons are pretty strong, and if you can just deny a creep, or at least, you know, harass him, nah, he's not even gonna try. Of course, it would cost NS his farm, but he might be able to mess up Chen's farm. Always ends up in being Chen. In the end, Enigma will get forced out of the Radiant jungle, and Chen will be farming before Enigma would be. So I guess that's the reason why he won't. In the meantime, Stalkat, he'll be in the mid lane, and that will leave the Storm on the safe lane. And then his items did not deceive me. And he will be, I mean, this is just trying to make sure that the Storm has a decent game there. Trying to make sure that he gets some solid farm, as in the meantime, Mantis having some harassment being done to him by some illusions picked up by G. And G's, yeah, G is normally the mid player. But we'll see if he can adjust to his role as a carry fairly well. Lifestealer at least, as he has got a good record on, so far so good. I have to say though, with their latest changes, I mean, this is not the first game that they have G as a carry and Resolution as a solo mid. They have had a better win rate lately, so we'll see if he can, if the VirtusPro can do it here as well. I mean, that's also always something that from these newer teams that have just, you know, put 5 people together that haven't really been used to playing together, they have to get used to playing together, and you know, that will take some time, and that's okay. But in the same time, of course, if you're VirtusPro in this case, they got to know each other, they got to learn to play together during StarLadder, and that cost them some games, and too many games actually to allow themselves to try and still prove themselves in Kiev. But oh well, it is their game. In the meantime, we have got Resolution sitting on 6 for 2. He's having some issues with these Iron Shells. I mean, his Spike Carapace at level 4 that he'll probably pick up at level 4 will be helping with that, and actually the mana burn, of course, making sure that Stalkat doesn't really have that much mana to actually put his Iron Shells on there will help out as well. But for now, he's struggling a bit with 12 to 2 for Stalkat. On the bottom lane also should be going towards Ahead Gaming, should be going towards Wadafaka, 12 to 3, while Light of Heaven is sitting on 6 to 0, and he's actually having some company here with the Chen coming around. He has got the ensnare, so this is the kind of creep that you would want to have if you want to try and go for gank, because he's got disables, he's got extra manpower, he's got it all. But for now, he just forces the Nature's Prophet away. In the meantime, this is a bit of a dual lane. I mean, Abaddon Weaver lanes, we've seen these before, it's just terrible. It's basically the same as Weaver with a tree somewhere in the game, but of course this is not really a tree, and he can't have a global shield, so he has to hang around his carry, and that actually helps out Mantis slightly, because as you just saw, I mean, he can pull and stack and pull, mostly pulling, to make sure that Mantis is still going to be able to farm, even though the creep wave gets pulled back by VirtusPro. It will still be a decent lane for him. Has to be careful that G doesn't pick up that farm though. As the open wounds already slow Mantis down slightly. It's gonna be fine though. For now. Meantime, Enigma is farming, of course, in the jungle. Has got a soul ring already. We can't really look at his last hits. Although, we can compare them slightly to the last hits of the Chen. Because he's also in the jungle. And Chen is actually slightly ahead. He was on the lane for a short while. But right now, Chen's ahead. It should, in theory, be spiraling out of control in favor of an S soon, though. Because Chen will always farm at about the same rate. Slightly faster, of course, as he gains some levels. But Enigma should be farming faster and faster and faster, because those Eidolons getting leveled up is actually quite a big difference indeed. As G pops his rage, and actually Mantis is gonna go for this. Has to be careful. No, he's gonna go for this. One more attack, and that's not your first blood, because he was eating a tango, and tangos are awesome, and he is living. He has to go all the way back though, because he doesn't have any regen left. But Goblak will gladly take the farm that's up for grabs now that he is gone. Mantis taking quite a bit of harassment there. He has still got a self. He'll be forced to use it soon. Unless Goblak can try. I mean, he has got a level 2 Fate Bolt, so Mantis had to be careful there. But went out okay. Use his self. He's going to be just fine. So no first blood on the board just yet. It would have been also a mistake from the lifestealer. I mean, in theory, nobody on the lanes should die unless there's going to be a gank from supports. That's our game right now. I mean, Stalkat can harass Resolution, yeah, but Resolution shouldn't die because he should be able to just walk away. And vice versa, same story. Stalkat can actually surge himself away, which is even better. And the same thing here. Top Mantis shouldn't die because he has got him shield. Storm Spirit actually getting the first blood. This should also not happen. In theory, Nature's Prophet should always be able to get himself away. He shouldn't be able to die like that. First blood taken by what the fuck, a freebie for him, to be fair. Indeed a freebie, as we have got Mantis. Getting some extra company there. It's now a full trial lane for VirtusPro because NS has rotated. He's not level 6 just yet, but they do want to try and take him down. They don't have... well, they have got sentries, but they don't have them down. And therefore Mantis can walk himself out. So no extra kill here, and VirtusPro has to do with knowing that this storm is getting bigger and bigger by the moment. He is farming best of everybody on the map. 39 to 12. And this is just a fat Storm Spirit. This is all there is to it. And he's gonna get fatter and fatter. And VirtusPro, they are the ones that try and undertake some action perhaps soon. Because they are the ones that try and stop that. Perhaps with the Nyx Assassin. I mean, he's level 6. It's very tricky. If you're a mid Nyx Assassin, it's very tricky to actually find yourself in a position where you can gank without your opponents knowing it. Because it's the most obvious thing. Everybody knows about Nyx's level 6. Everybody. So the moment he is not on his lane, people know, you know, miss. And you're gonna be keeping yourself safe. You can place some sentries if you think he is gonna be in your lane, and it's just the most obvious thing. And as well as, I mean, the Vendetta only lasts for a very short time, so only 20 seconds. So you only have to be safe for about 20 seconds if you feel like he is gonna be coming towards your lane. So it's really not going to be an easy job for him to try and make something happen with that, but perhaps he can profit from some other rotations that come out from Next.kz. That would of course be best, and if he then counters it by coming in, maybe, for example, if Next.kz would come into the top lane and try and dive for a kill, and then of course you could have Nyx Assassin coming in and rotating as NS takes a bit of harassment. Still is able to Malefizz Mantis, so he can't really chase that. Doesn't really need to chase that. I mean, Mantis is actually getting decent farm. He's 21 to 7. Compare that to the Lifestealer sitting on 27 to 5. Of course, Lifestealer still slightly ahead. But Lifestealer still very far behind on the Storm. Storm is sitting on 53 to 21. And that's the one that G is supposed to be out farming. And it's not working out. Not working out at all. A lot of pressure now on that Nature's Prophet, of course, to do well as an S. He has got a soul ring. He could try and turn around for a is it a Gemini attack? No. Could try to turn around for a black hole, but didn't try for it. Probably would have died because he had to also catch Reefers in there, and that wouldn't have happened. In the meantime, Chen managed to get himself level 6, still holding on to that smoke. I was really expecting him to use that a bit earlier already, but didn't end up going for it. Oh, rotation coming in, or at least Mantis coming in from behind here. I want to go for Goblak. Goblak in a lot of trouble. In comes the TP from the Nature's Prophet trying to help out, but it's too late for Goblak. And in comes motherfucker Vortex there as well. They're trying to go on G while Mantis runs himself away. Now only level 6, but not enough mana for a time-lapse. Infest out will still clear out the Weaver. And in comes Resolution, and he is able to make a difference, although he still will end up going down. It's a double kill for G. Storm's still able to pick himself up another kill as well, though, but in the end, it's an even trade. Nyx Assassin and Rubik going down for a Weaver and a... oh, and an Abaddon. The main difference, though, is that Whatafaka got himself a double kill, or got a kill. I guess he wasn't in time for the kill on the Rubik. And Lifestealer, well, he got himself a double kill, which is nice, but he already was slightly behind on the Storm. Storm even got further ahead, and perhaps Light of Heaven is going to be in some trouble right now. Tries to run for it, sprouts himself in with Stalcat. That's not going to work out for you. That's going to be an extra kill for Ahead.kz, who definitely came out ahead as they killed off the Nyx Assassin. He now has smoked himself up. The thing is about a Nyx Assassin mid, you have to now keep the pressure on. Because you're not a late game carry kind of hero. You're going to have to get your advantages right now, right here. This is your moment. This could be his target. Vendetta Impale, it hits. Still invisible though, there's no detection because that's on the Rubik, and Rubik is not close by. Time-lapse will remove the damage done to Mantis. And in the meantime, we have got quite some people here in the mid. Whatafaka. I'm gonna call him Lion, because it looks like Lion. Jen, I guess. Okay, I won't call him Lion. And Stalcat pushing down the tower. There has not been a tower casualty just yet, as Nature's Prophet is in some problem once again. Mant is actually chasing him down. Is he gonna dive this? He might. In comes the Nature's Wrath, actually helping out, counter pushing top, and Light of Heaven not teleporting out. In comes a Malefice up on Mantis though. NS showing himself. 4 people now in the mid. Ahead.kz really making it clear that they really want to take this tower down. In comes a Zap, in comes a Vortex. Godlike trouble, Godlike dead. That's gonna be just sticking around for too long, underestimating the well, the wanting from Whatafaka that he wants to get that tower for. The amount of want. He just really wanted to take that down. Meantime, Mantis comes with an S, and S actually trying to take Sanctuary in the Radiant jungle. Goes for Black Hole. That's the only thing he could do, but it goes down anyway because the shield popped. Reeves with the kill. That's going to be an extra kill done by Ahead.kz as Mantis. Well, he has been taken on the safe lane right now. I mean, he's still not doing that bad, don't get me wrong. He is still higher than the Lifestealer, and he's lowest of the 3 cores, basically my point. And he really needs to get his level, because as said during the draft, the difference between a Weaver and a Lifestealer is that Lifestealer can just build an armlet straight away, or face drums armlet, and then he's ready to fight. Weaver first needs to build a defensive item, and he actually doesn't even have treads or anything like that. Just sits on 1800 gold. I would expect him to still go for Lincoln's, but time will tell if that actually is the one that he wants to go for. In the meantime, on the top lane, we have got G pressuring down the tier 1 tower. Fortification goes on. Nobody comes in to defend this, though. I mean, this will be a tower that will go the way of VirtusPro, and something that they'll gladly take. TP still comes in, but it's too late to save the tower. Perhaps at least in time to deny the tower, but that's something that G is not going to let happen. Boom. G rages, takes a tower, TP's out. Takes a lot of harassment while he does it, but doesn't matter. Rubik also taking the tower on the bottom lane. This is VirtusPro getting it back. They might not be getting kills while at it, but they get themselves 2 towers, which is a lot of extra gold for their squad, and therefore a lot of extra gold to get those core items up, which is something that you really want to have, because especially if you want to try and go fight. Oh, zaps forward. In comes a Centaur, still comes a Vortex. Resolution gonna get picked up. No time to pop a Spike Carapace anymore. A nice sentry coming out, of course, from the Chen, who now has 1 sentry left. Regardless, there's a lot of wards out there, actually. This is, of course, an observer still for VirtusPro when they try to take down the tower, which, well, I say try, when they took down the tower, because they actually succeeded. And it's, yeah, there's, oh, actually, wow, the word that I was going to talk about was just disappeared. But Ahead.kz also had a ward at the, Roshan pit earlier on. They now still have one right about here, which is not really that useful anymore unless they want to try and push pressure that tier 1 tower, which they, by the way, are now doing on the bottom lane. Tier 1 tower pressuring, that is. The Godlike already sitting behind that. Godlike sitting at level 7. I mean, the levels are all starting to be there nicely for everybody. I mean, there's a level 6 Abaddon, which is basically the level that you want to have to make sure that you can at least have 2 lives. Burrow time, of course, is what I'm talking about. But nobody below level 7, and that's just the result of a fairly slowish early game, and in the case of NextKZ, of course, having a dual lane where Abaddon, of course, took some experience away from that Weaver. And having the Chen that's able to farm inside the jungle, and the same thing goes for VirtusPro, just a dual lane and someone in the jungle. Oh, Resolution, he's got an infested life stealer, he goes for Mantis, in comes Motherfucker though, might be able to make something happen, but Weaver's still dead. Motherfucker knows now that he has to get himself out as well. He has got enough for his, actually he has a Bloodstone if he wants to just dismantle his boots, which I'm gonna assume he wants to do. But he doesn't want to do it next to, of course, Nyx Assassin. I mean, imagine if he would have done it like right there and Nyx Assassin would have scouted him out. That's so much gold lost. That would be bigger than killing off Weaver. Killing off Weaver, by the way, is still pretty big. As said, though, he needs an item to work for his sustainability before he can actually start building damage items. And right now, his BKB, which is supposedly the one that's gonna build, is delayed. And I mean, why not build a BKB? Because Lincoln's is not really gonna do as much this game as a BKB would. You want to have the BKB when you're stuck in the black hole. So make sure that at least, you know, if you're stuck, you're not going to take any extra damage. Because that's basically the main thing right here. 4 heroes of VirtusPro sitting on that bottom lane. Around the bottom lane. Maybe going for Stalkat here. Stalkat who really wants to have the tower. The tower is already in the 9 range. Stalkat surges himself away. Vacuums on trees. In comes still an Impel though. Stalkat gets a shield, gets a heal. Is it gonna be enough? I don't think it will be. Another shield comes out. Reeves! Did he just give his life? And that's coming in looking for a black hole perhaps? No, he still is able to help take down the Darkseer just a natural way. Just hit him until he's gone. Reeves on the way out. In comes the send home from the Chen. It's lifesaver one right there, but he might have just sacrificed himself. Takes some Malefice to the face. Buys himself some wards while he's here, because that's the only thing he can still do. But goes down. Worthy sacrifice, I'd say, but sacrifice nonetheless. 2 heroes dead on the side of NextKZ. Kills that VirtusPro really needed. And now, of course, they can take down his tower. Denied the tower, I was gonna say, but I'm actually surprised that that Light of Heaven didn't yet. Because right now, I mean, Storm is a pretty mobile hero. Oh yeah, I forgot he still had to have the Void Stone. Oh, he has it now. But I would say Storm, you just pick up a free tower or pick up a free kill on Resolution. Nice back Carapace still there though. Might have been enough. Still goes for Goblack. Resolution already getting himself out. What the fuck? It could do some. There's your deny. Could do with some. Well, reveal. Get some dust. Get some sentries. Get a gem, perhaps. 15 minutes into the game. Perhaps it's a bit early for a gem. In 5 minutes, I'll hope to remind myself again for maybe checking on some gems, because that would be a normal time to get gems. And as in the meantime, has the mechanism ready, goes for the Roshan, and he can, of course, he can solo this. Eidolons are strong enough, and with the last Eidolon that stands, you can make new Eidolons, so that you never run out of them. There we go. Pretty strong. Anyway, he'll take that. It won't be the fastest Roshan ever, but will be a secure one, because NextKZ is not making anything of it. They are only taking down the last tier 1 tower. And even though the tier 1 bottom got denied, it's still a big thing to have all these tier 1 towers down, because the map control that NextKZ gets with this is just pretty big. I mean, right now, Dire Jungle in control of NextKZ, and even though the Radiant Jungle is not that much in control of them anymore because their own tier 1 went down on the bottom lane, they might still be able to make good use of that. Roshan finally goes down. G picks up the Aegis. There was a smoke up, by the way, for NextKZ when they came from the bottom lane, so they might be looking to fight for this. They came too late to try and contest the Roshan, of course, which I think by the end of that they did realize was going on. And I think they just revealed their smoke, yeah. Perhaps they still want to try and go for a push, though. G has already shown his face, but he is the one with the rage. He did pick up the armlet in the end, so he's ready to fight. Oh, Infested Lifestealer coming around. And this is an Nyx Assassin with a Blink Dagger. Resolution, able to complete that one previous, or right before Roshan actually. Or right after the previous fight in the bottom lane. Let's see if he can make something happen. He's going in. He blinks, he impales, up and 2, infest out. What the fuck? In some trouble. Hand of God, is it enough? It might be. Mechanism gets popped as well, but in comes the black hole. Stalkat and Mantis stuck in it. But not enough to take anybody down just yet. It is gonna be Ahead.kz that gets forced out of this one though. They try to run for it. Goblak stole Shikushi, has got another telekinesis in a couple of seconds and might be able to make at least secure one kill with that one, because right now they're just not getting anybody. Wadafaka is gonna be the target and they take him down with one impale to end it. Reeves sitting stuck, and actually, in comes Storm, he bought back. That's the exit signal for VirtusPro. Light of Heaven, not so lucky. Chen with his creep able to get a net out, stopping his teleport from happening, and Wadafaka, he really wants to get another kill to make his buyback worth it. He is very low on mana though. Perhaps he can still find a kill up on an S. He sees him. He has got a vortex, but I'm not too sure if he can still reach it. He is actually getting surrounded. In comes an impale, blink in from Resolution. Telekinesis, Wadafaka goes down for the second time. No shield in time for Reeves, and now Reeves gets surged up because he is out of position. Stalka trying to help his teammate out, but perhaps they can at least take something in return for that. Perhaps they can take Stalka. Open wound's already there. In comes the bug army from Mantis, reducing some armor from G, who gets harassed away. Everybody actually backing off, attacking their bug. But in the end, VirtusPro getting themselves ahead. I mean, they killed off Motherfucker twice, and I have to say, I mean, it was a brilliant play from Ahead.kz to stay alive for as long as they did, and courtesy of Chen there for sure, because Hand of a God, and actually, of course, the mechanism coming off from Stalka, that was their sustainability. That's something that VirtusPro themselves have not got yet. Well, they've got themselves a mechanism, but they don't have a Hand of God, obviously. Which, well, I say obviously, I guess Ruby could steal it. But was a great fight for Ahead.kz. In the end, they still lose Wadafaka. Of course, he was already out of mana. Tried to maybe do too much, but goes down, then buys back, picking up Light of Heaven. Awesome play. Making sure that they get themselves at least a kill in return. But then an overextension from Wadafaka, and he dives, and he dies again. His Bloodstone charge is down to 4. It's pretty risky to do that. I mean, Storm, we see it. He's still sitting highest on that net worth, which is still amazing considering he just bought back and died again. Oh, Resolution. Is he gonna go down again? Well, then he's definitely no longer on the top list of net worth. It's Lifestealer that isn't now, because G just took himself as an extra kill. And now looking for a tier 1 tower. And just walking up there like they own the place, and to be fair, they might actually do. Oh, Goblak. Stealing Shikushi is probably one of the biggest things. In comes an Impale, Stalka, net comes up on Resolution straight away. In comes Sentries as well. As a Darkseer wall, Resolution runs away with the Spike Carapace, but it doesn't work out. He goes down. Also, Chen goes down though. G able to eat him up, and now has his Aegis down. Goblak walking in. The Sentry will go down as well, picked up by Mantis. G walks himself out. In comes the Storm, who was up again, and is still able to pick up Light of Heaven. That was his corpse right there, or at least his blood puddle. That's 3 dead. That's Ahead.kz taking back what they lost just now, although not completely, because I didn't take the Lifestealer down. The Lifestealer did get kills, and he actually sits on 6-0 to 3. He's been in all 9 kills of his team thus far. That's insane. That is pretty crazy for G. I mean, we know that normally, like, this is a good part, right? Normally he was a mid player. He was used to being mid player. He's played mid in his previous team and before that, and you know, God knows how long, pun intended. But right now he's playing in a carry role, but he wants to be in the action, and you can tell. I mean, he is in the action. He makes the plays. He is still in there, face first, and it works out. And it works out great for VirtusPro. It is, of course, a hero that you can do that with. Perhaps with if we would have had a Spectre, for example, it would have been a bit different, or you know, a bit of a harder carry. But this with this hero, it works out great, and he actually invests himself again in Resolution. It's been working out good so far. Let's see how far they can get themselves. If they can find themselves another kill, Resolution takes the same path that has been so successful for him for the last couple of times. Well, I say same path, it's slightly different. Won't find anybody just yet though. Everybody's sitting middle. They've just smoked up. Oh, they have a gem. They have a gem. Can they actually? Oh, and that's the downside. You have to have the Storm to step in and vortex people. Storm already out of mana. Zap's too long. Wow, that's gonna be, well. You know, it's good that they stopped the aggression. I mean, they don't let Resolution or Lifestealer have a kill. But if you would have a Rubik there on the front lines, that would have been a whole different ball game. If you would have had a Crystal Main, would have been different. Some kind of support within a disable would have been different. And Storm reaction not fast enough, although he is the one with the gem now. I say now because it was a Abaddon that had it just a moment ago, so they switched it. Goldgraph in the meantime still sitting around the 0 line. I mean, 1k in favor of VirtusPro is really nothing. We are 23 minutes into this game. And, I mean, this is no difference whatsoever. Experience graph, same story, 1,500 in favor of VirtusPro. We've seen it go both ways before, and oh, they find themselves somewhere. They find themselves resolution. Resolution drops. Gem being used, of course, for that one. And in comes the smoke straight away. Maybe they can find themselves some on top, even though Mantis might be in some trouble before then. Now, realizes the trouble he's in and backs off. There is a big arrow being drawn by Ines at this moment, though, and they realize that they might be in trouble. Goblak getting himself out. Shikushi will end, and as said, they had a gem. Goblak gets 4 attacks, tries to get himself out, won't be able to. G will be the next target. Had got already used it. G tries to TP himself out, but the vacuum will come in time. The rage did not last long enough, and G dies. That's 2 extra dead for on the side of VirtusPro, and nobody of VirtusPro coming in to help. They didn't want to take that fight. They're not ready yet. They'll just try to trade farm for tier 2 tower. Tier 2 will still drop, perhaps tier 2 bottom takes some harassment. Won't actually drop though. The resolution coming in, just some extra actually blinks 4, goes up on 2. Might be able to pick up 1 at least. Nice Centaur stomp. And Light of Heaven teleporting in. I mean, there is no Storm here anymore, aka no gem here anymore. Light of Heaven with the Shadow Blade might be able to pick someone off. The shield is still there up on the Chen though. In comes the Impale, 1 hit from the Chen. Oh, another shield comes out. And the shield gets popped again. Malefist still there. That's gonna be the Chen. Oh, another heal comes out. Reeves, MVP, another shield. Of course he lives. In comes an Impale. Will he finally go down? No. Now no more mana for Reeves. That has to be... Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is just completely insane. This hero. I mean, Chen was completely done for. If not for this hero. Okay, sorry. Chen was completely done for 3 times. Or 4 times, if not for this hero. And I think, yeah, well, he just shouted out his name, but I think we're gonna pretend that this is a shout out to Abaddon because that was just crazy. I don't know if I should shout out Reeves or the hero because, I mean, of course, Reeves played the hero brilliantly and able to save his teammate that way. Or perhaps I should blame Resolution for going on the wrong target and maybe going for, I don't know, he would have actually been able to heal everybody. Difficult. And you can't really go on Abaddon himself because he'll have borrowed time. But at least he can't heal himself. I mean, that's the difference. That's something. Anyway, next KZ, of course, with the plays that they just did, with the tower that went down their way. As in the tower on the side of VirtusPro, they get themselves some extra gold and experience. Still not that much though, but it's starting to get there perhaps. Although looking at VirtusPro's side, they might be ready soon for a change in scenery as well. G has got himself a Basher, and we have got a Blink Dagger up on Enigma before he finishes off his BKB. And that's going to be a big deal, of course, especially since Ahead has been... I mean, look at this. Perfect black hole opportunity right here. Ooh, they actually hex up on G. Want to go for him. Can they take him down? Vacuum there as well. He can't still rage. He tries to get himself away from this. In comes Mantis. And that should be it. That should be enough. Armlet toggling for his life might be the trick. Can they get it? The Armlet toggle, it got nerfed, but apparently not nerfed enough because G is just able to keep himself up regardless. And I say got nerfed because you can't insta-toggle anymore, but this is at least a living G. And of course the first showing that we had of the Scythe of Ice, which is actually on the Darkseer Stalcats, got enough farm for that one. Something that Storm is probably quite jealous of, even though he's working towards his own one as well. Towers are now even, and well, even in the nice. One denied tower for both sides, even though of course one extra tower down on side of VirtusPro. But at least both sides have got a denied tower, so in that sense it is fairly even at that. We have got Roshan up by the way again. That's why these teams are, well, hovering over this pit, because this could be the one thing that will tip the game in their favor, because right now this is such an even game and the teams realize that they have to try and find themselves some form of advantage and be that smoke gangs to get the advantage there. Ooh, vortexing comes the Impale though. Motherfucker is in trouble. Can he get himself out? Telekinesis. Rubik will still go down. Zap away from Motherfucker. He runs, zaps more, gets a mech, will live. Hex up on G. Is there enough damage? There should be, there might be. Next Assassin will still get picked up by Mantis on the back end, and there goes G as well. Double kill for Stelcat. And that means that Ahead Gaming or Next.kz can now secure themselves either a tier 2 tower and perhaps some damage on a tier 3 or a Roshan. Or perhaps they can even take a tier 2 and a Roshan. That might be what they are going to plan on doing here. Enigma's still up, as well as Light of Heaven's Nature's Prophet. And as well as Light of Heaven's Nature's Prophet. Never mind that, because he's dead. Motherfucker, of course, got sent home by the Chen and decided to counter push top, and now with Nature's Prophet dead, they can definitely take a tier 3, perhaps even more. Test of Fate, then comes a black hole and hits on 4, but where's the damage? Rubik will still go down. In comes a Sprout. They try to do a nice 3-man Impale. Is it gonna be enough though? Is it gonna be enough? Lifesteal not here. In comes a Vacuum. Resolution is in trouble. Already dead. There goes a Mechanism trying to keep Light of Heaven and an S alive, but I'm doubting if it's gonna be enough. And S will indeed take a fall. One from the hit of the Centaur. Chen gets himself a kill, and Reeves is now dominating as he gets himself a kill on Light of Heaven. Now G comes back, but his entire team has already been picked off. The GG gets called VirtusPro. VirtusPro, first of all, 66% of my chat was wrong because 66% thought VirtusPro was going to win. Second of all, VirtusPro, they have so much pressure to try and win up against Rock's Kiss next. Wow, Rock's Kiss in 2 games from now. Because, as I said, they can't afford to lose that many more games. They'll get dropped to Pro Series, and, I mean, that's not a team that you would expect that from. Though, of course, we do know that StarSeries this season looks very, very, very good for all the teams. Very even after the top 5, I have to say. Anyways, we're gonna jump ourselves to the next game of today, and it will be a Fnatic game. We're gonna see Fnatic taking on 4FC. 4FC definitely needs some points for the same reason as VirtusPro does. They are now in 15th position, and they want to at least be 13 or 14, because right now they're getting dropped to Pro Series, no questions asked, but they want to at least, you know, have the chance to play regulation matches, or maybe even still just not worry about that at all and just come back next season. Fnatic, they are 5 to 7, they still have a chance to be dropped down if they lose a couple more games, but we'll see if they can take the next win. Of course, you are watching StarSeries. This is still Season 7, and this is day 25. This is game 1 of 6, and I'm hoping that at some point today I will have a co-cast, but for now I'm just with Nahaz. Nahaz, of course, our stats man, and shout out to him. You can follow him on Twitter at NahazDota. We'll be right back with more Dota for StarSeries. Don't go anywhere.